So Phil, how's it going with As I Lay Dying with the new album?
Everything's going well. We're just kind of waiting to put it out. So kind of the calm before the storm, I guess. But yeah, we've been looking forward to getting this thing out for all the fans to hear.
You guys made a single, let's say, Cauterize, and we've all heard that, and it sounds awesome. And this next
Cool
album,
thing.
coming out is going to be mostly like that.
Yeah, I think it's gonna have a familiar sound to Cauterize in a way. I mean, most of the songs are, all the songs on the album are pretty aggressive, melodic, and I think fans of the band and fans from the past will appreciate this one, you know, as much as any other album we've done. So it just seems like, from my point of view, that kind of like that right next step for us.
Now, for guitars and amps and stuff, have you been using the same stuff, from the last album?
Uh, some similar things, but we worked at a different studio with a different set of engineers and different producers, and they had a lot of gear, in the studio, in their studio, so we were able to kind of branch out and try a few different things, and I think that kind of, with drums, bass, and guitars all around, like I think it really, I don't know, made our sound a little bit more full, a little bit more, I don't know, just it's every time I listen back to it, I'm like, man, this is just our best sounding album tone wise. Like it's just it's good. It's kind of what we wish we'd always kind of done.
What do you think of recording nowadays? Is it getting every day in a sense easier, or is it still the same studio?
Record. How do you mean that?
Pro Tools is always getting better and stuff like that with effects, etc.
Yeah, I think yeah, I'd say it's, the studio is always exciting. I love being in the studio, and so I've got, the whole band, we've gotten all pretty savvy with Pro Tools, so it makes it that more exciting when you know what certain things do in the studio now, and you're just like, I don't know, kind of taking the bull by the horns sometimes in terms of like, oh, I'm going for this sound, I'm going for this effect, and just let me get behind and do it, on Pro Tools. And I think our experience has definitely improved, from album to album. We're all, interested in, in recording, so it's been fun. It's fun every time.
Phil, what's your take on like guitar amp simulations and stuff like that? With the effects units and stuff in general.
Guitar amp simulation?
Yeah, like FX pedals, like let's say somebody could buy and get, the replica sound of a JCM 800 or something like that.
Oh, so like an Axe Effects?
Yeah, something like that, and you
Or,
got
yeah,
guitar rigs
simulated
and stuff
tones.
like that.
Yeah, well, I think you definitely have, for certain things, like, say, for amps, you're going to have those great amps, 5150, an 800, Marshall JCM 800. You're going to have those, like, the holy grail of amp tones, and nowadays things are coming out that replicate it pretty close. And if you can get your hands on the original, why not? There's always going to be, it's the most pure, I don't know, like pure thing you're going for. So why not just get the original, get the best? But in terms of touring, I would say it's become a lot easier and convenient to get the amps, go for a certain amp simulator and an effect, with, like, Nick and I both use the Axe Effects Live. It's 2-space rack-mounted guitar processor, and we don't have to rent cabs and heads. We don't have to rent all this stuff when we travel everywhere. We just have that. So the convenience factor is great. But in the studio, stick to the real thing.
You know, with the economy, you can't go and buy every amp to go and play it live.
Yeah, the costs add up when you're flying with, you know, even one extra piece of gear could cost you $200. So it's not worth it when you can find these, you know, loopholes, I guess.
Now, you guys got a lyric video that came out. Do you think that's the way to do it nowadays? It seems everybody's doing it. And are we going to see a regular promo video along with that?
I think, you know, lyric videos are our main purpose for wanting to put together the lyric video is that on Mayhem we were going to be playing Cauterize, and we wanted fans, you know, who wish to sing along with us to know the lyrics. So, because we haven't released the album yet, you know, no one knows the lyrics. So that was kind of the way, you know, the purpose of that for us. And, you know, whether a fan, you know, they weren't going to see us on Mayhem, well, they have the lyric video. But I don't think the lyric video takes place of an actual, like, you know, a real video with, you know, you hire a director and, you know, there's a performance and concept. I don't think it necessarily takes the place of that because the content is completely different. But, you know, a lot of bands these days don't really have the budget to make the music videos that they want. So there's definitely a decline in that. But if you're able to make it work and you can come up with something, you know, it's quality, you know, a music video is always exciting, I think, when a band can, you know, do it right.
And October, you guys going overseas to tour?
Yes, we are going on tour with Trivium, Caliban, and Upon a Burning Body, and we're covering most of Europe and a lot of UK dates.
How's it going overseas nowadays, you know, from United States, you know, on this long flight to get overseas with the band? How is it?
It's great. Like, we just did, you know, about 2 weeks worth of European festivals and a few off dates right before Mayhem, so during the summer. And it's always great for us. Like, it's pretty much, in a lot of ways, you know, equal. You know, our fan base in Germany and, you know, a lot of neighboring countries is pretty solid. And so it's nice to be able to have kind of that second home, you know, when you don't want to overplay the States too much, and then you got, you know, Europe to go to, and then, you know, Canada, we try to get in there as much as possible, but you definitely don't have, you know, you can't be, you know, usually once or twice an album cycle and then play a Montreal and Toronto show here and there is good, but, I mean, Europe, there's just so much more.
Europe itself is the new hub of death metal and metal and, you know, all these genres of music lining up together because it seems that's the place to play nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, the festival season in the summertime is insane. Like, there's no other place, you know, that can even compete with the amount of festivals with how close they are to each other throughout Europe. And, you know, I think that's exciting for us to look forward to every time to get over there. And, you know, there's 10 other bands that, you know, we're fans of that we're playing that same day. And, you know, it's just the experience is very, very cool. And it's only getting bigger and bigger over there, I feel like. So I would say Europe is definitely the place to be playing.
Now, Phil, one final one here. As a guitarist, do you pick up new influences every now and then? And where are you up to now with influences as a guitarist?
Yeah, I mean, as a guitar player, I'm being inspired or influenced, I guess. You know, every day, every band I listen to, I'm trying to search for something that's gonna, you know, either blow my mind or just a little something like, oh, that's cool, that's a little clever thing, and I'll think about what it is they could be doing in my head. I'm like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. And then if I do, I feel like if I do that enough, when it comes down to where I'm going to start writing something, my brain has kind of absorbed all these ideas throughout the time, and it's like, I think it'll subconsciously just kind of come out in my playing. So yeah, all the time, always trying to find something intriguing about someone else's playing. So I guess for right now, what I've really been into would be I really like a lot of things about that new Gojira record. Let me see. Every time someone asks me about other music, I'm like, oh, let me look at my phone. Let me look at my Spotify. I go through what all the stuff I've been listening to. The New Darkness, I love their playing, their rock riffs and shredding. Been listening to a lot of Maiden lately. I just saw them not too long ago, so I always have I listen to Maiden every day for like a month. I have these little phases. The new Minus the Bear I checked out. That's got the old guitar player from Botch, so there's always, it's cool to hear a guitar player that came from heavy music and then trying to go into some more more stripped down, mellow rock sort of thing. So Dave Knudsen, I would say, yeah, he's got some interesting stuff. That's probably good enough.
That's very good. We've went from Maiden to Darkness. That's great.
Yeah, sweet.
So Phil, as I lay dying, I'm gonna be really busy in September promoting this new album, Awakened, and I'm sure promotions start now. Would you say?
Yeah, definitely. It's starting to pick up a little bit more for this last month.
Excellent stuff. Well, you have a great tour in October and a great album and lots of success, and make the top 200 Billboard with this again.
I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
All right, Phil. Talk to you another day.
All right. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye-bye.